Hello, future developers. Welcome to another tutorial ABCD. Today we're doing TextBlob, doing some analyzation of text. So in Anaconda, your Anaconda prompts, type this conda install and then this text as you see here. So we are going to wait for it to download these packages. Okay, so let's wait for everything to load and then we'll start our project. Okay, so here just type Y for yes. So it's going to install this. Then we're going to wait for it to download and install these packages. Okay. So once that is done, we are going to start analyzing some text using TextBlob. Okay, so I'm going to type Jupyter Notebook. I'll open my Jupyter Notebook, and then I'm going to launch it. So once it's launched, I'm going to click on New, and then click on Python 3, and then we can start doing our TextBlob, analyzing text using TextBlob. So since we already downloaded, we are going to import the model or the library. So from TextBlob, import TextBlob, and then from okay, so in order to save that, I just pasted these here. So we need these libraries and models to work. So I think I misplaced something. Okay, so from TextBlob, so be careful with how this is typed. Okay, so I'm going to cancel this because this wouldn't work. So I'm going to cut this out and then paste it here. So look at it. So from TextBlob, okay, so small letters TextBlob, import TextBlob. So TextBlob here is caps, so the text, the T is caps, and the blob, the B is caps. So I'm going to run it. So once it's run, let's look at PyCharm, and this is the documentation for TextBlob. And these are the features of what you can do with TextBlob. So spell correction. So we are going to do most of them. Sorry, in this lesson. Okay. So I'm going to type my word. So I'm going to do the first. So I'm going to create a variable called word1. And then since I already have experimented with the project in PyCharm, so I'm just going to copy the text from PyCharm and then paste it here so that we save some time. Okay, so that said, I'm going to copy my PyCharm project. That's the text. Okay. So our first project is going to do, okay, let me just paste this here. So in quotation comments, I'll paste the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, and I'll create another variable called my word2 equals, and then quotation comments, and I'm going to paste in it some text from my PyCharm project. You can decide to type anything here. Okay. Okay, so the food at KFC was great. Okay, so let me just copy this. I'm going to paste it here. So remember that the Jupyter Notebook file will be given to you so that you can upload it into your Jupyter environment and then look at the documentation. I've actually done documentation on the project. So after this video, I'll do documentation on the project. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm creating an output, a variable output1. Okay, and I'm going to type TextBlob. Then I'm going to put the first variable, so this variable here. So I can just copy it, Control C, and then paste it inside. I can copy this again, Control C, Control V. Then let me change it to 2. Then I'll change here to also 2. Okay. Let's run it, and then I'm going to have to print the sentiment. So we are going to do sentimental analysis. So let's print that for the first one. So I'm going to bracket and then I'll put output 1 dot sentiment. Okay, so sentiment. So what the sentiment is going to do is it's going to print out that's the polarity and then the subjectivity. So when we say polarity is like the positiveness or negativeness of let's say a statement, and the subjectivity handles the let's say the beliefs and then the opinions of the individual. So we are going to identify that in this text. Okay, so the first one we want to identify is that's from like the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Okay, so let's run it and see the output. Okay, so the sentiment polarity. Okay, so the sentiment, okay, polarity is 0 points in this number, and the subjectivity is 0.75. So if you should observe, okay, so the polarity starts with numbers ranging from, let me see, I did it in PyCharm. So I'm going PyCharm and then I did some documentation on it. So okay, so the polarity score is a float within the range minus 1.0 and then 1.0. Okay. And then the subjectivity is from 0.0 and then 1.0. So with the subjectivity, 0.0 is more objective. So objective is more of less objective, is more of the opinion of let's say the public, and then the subjectivity is the express or the feeling of or belief of the person. Okay, so the individual's belief or feeling. Okay, so depending on the range. Okay, so when your subjectivity is between 0.0 to these figures, it should mean the person is objective, and then when it's 1.0, it means the person is very subjective. So you can see here the output here. You have the subjectivity to be 0.75, so meaning it's between this. Okay, so it's more of objective. Okay. So let's go back to Jupyter Notebook. Where's my Jupyter Notebook? Jupyter Notebook. Okay. Okay, and you can see our polarity and then the subjectivity. So now the next thing we have to do, let's try printing them separately. So let's say you want to print only the polarity. So what we can do is just type print into brackets. Just type. So let me just put polarity equals, okay, and then I'll put. Let's say you want to find the polarity for this, the output 2. So I'll just put output 2. Oh, the spelling is correct. Output 2 dot sentiment, then dot polarity. Okay, so let's run it and see if there are no errors. Okay, so our polarity is 1.0 for our output 2. So that's our output 2 should be this word. Okay, the food at KFC was very great. Okay, so 1.0. So depending on the range, it will so 1.0 could mean, so 1.0 should mean positive. Let's check and see. 1.0 should mean positive. So let's see the range. Okay, so 1.0 should be positive. Okay. Then you can do same if you want only the subjectivity. You can just, let's just copy it and then Control C and then paste it here. Control V, and then let's change it to subjectivity. Subjectivity. And then let's run it. Okay, so this is the subject. Oh, sorry, let me change it to subjectivity. Well, let me just do subjectivity. Okay, I'm going to run it again. Okay. Okay, so next, let's see what we can do here. Is um, let's do some simple exercises. Okay, we're using the text block. So text block also can be used just as the way we use the normal Python. So you can make things uppercase, lowercase, and the likes. So let's say um, I want to make the sword, my word one uppercase. So I can do it. I can just print into bracket. Um, let me do it. Let me do it output one. Output one dot upper. Okay, so let's print it. Okay, so you can see it, I've made everything uppercase, and we can do same for making it lowercase. So I'm going to just paste here, and then I'll do it dot lower. So dot lower should have, okay, so it's made um this output lowercase, and then let's say we want to find something. Okay, so let's say print into brackets output one, output one dot find. So let's say we want to find the position of this text. Let me see, what should we find? Let's say jumps, and then let's run it. Okay, so 20. So if you should count it, I think it should start. So let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13. Okay, so I think you start counting from 0. So it's at this position 20. So let's go to another exercise. Let's try another exercise here. So here we can try and translate our text. Okay, so to translate, let's say I want to print into brackets output one dot translate. Okay, so translate, then I'll bring a parenthesis, and then 2 equals, and then this have sorry, quotation comments, and then I'll change it to es. So es is supposed to print it into to translate into Spanish. So let's run it and see the output. Okay, so you can see it has translated the quick brown fox. I think, is it output 2? Okay, so it's output 1. So it's have translated the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Okay, so this, it requires internet for the translation. Okay, so let's go to the other one. Let's see what we can do here. Always remember to put text blob in front of the text. So let's say let's create a variable called r, and then I'm going to put text blob into brackets the quick, and just copy the quick brown fox, Control C, and then I'm going to paste it here, Control V. I think I have double quotation comments. And just yeah, so that's how to actually use text blob. So the variable r, and then text blob, and then you put your text in. Okay, and then let's say we want to do some correction. So let's say I did a mistake. So the quick, so let's say I did the, let's say the over, I did double r. So let's say we want to correct it. So what we can do is just into brackets, print into brackets, and then I'm going to type r dot correct, and then let's run it. Okay, so you can see the correction here is, it has taken the r out, so it has made a correction. Okay, so using this correct method, you can make some corrections in your let's say your text using text blob. And then let's see what else we can do. So let's say, let me just copy this again. In order to save time, I wouldn't want to be typing a lot. So the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. And let's say, and the dog and cat, the dog and cat, and let's say were at the dogs, at the dog, at the dogs, let's say at the cat's home. I don't know what I'm typing, but let's make this dog D. Okay, so here we want to try and count the number of occurrence of let's say dog, how many times dog appears. So I'm just going to type the variable r dot, and then I'm going to put count. So r dot words dot count. Okay, in parentheses I'm going to find dog. Okay, so when I run it, where is the error? So the error is I forgot to bring this brackets here. Okay, so let's run it again. Okay, so 2, so dog appears twice. So let's say, where is it, 1 and then 2. Okay, so the dog appears twice irrespective of the capitalization. Okay, so let's say we want to count only the uppercase. Okay, by default, this is set to false. Okay, so let's just put this here, and then I'm going to count only. We don't want it to consider like it should be very case sensitive. It should be case sensitive. Okay, so to do that, I'm just going to put here comma. Okay, and I'm going to do case underscore sensitive, sensitive equals true. Then let's run it and see the output. Okay, so because we have this case sensitive set to true, you could see it didn't count this. Okay, it counted only this. Okay, so now let's do lemmatization. Okay, so what lemmatization does is it breaks words into their root form. Okay, so let's say given should be give, and then let's say octopi or octopus should be I don't know, is it you? Let's check it out. Let's see. So I'm going to create uh, a variable called. Let me create this variable e equals to word, okay, word into brackets went. Okay, so I'm going to limitize went. Okay, so I want to find. Okay, so let me just comment this out. Okay, so I'm going to print into brackets. I think there's space, so let me just clear the space. Print to brackets. Let's say e, and then I'm going to type e dot lematize. Okay, so e dot lematize. So if we should run it, let's see what is the result. Run it again. Okay, equals. Okay, so it went. Okay, so this isn't correct. It's supposed to be go. Okay, so to handle this error, okay, we have to put, since went is a verb, let's put it in quotation comments. So here, and then I'm going to put v. When we run it, we should have go. Okay, we should have go. Okay, so let's try lemmatizing. Let's say an octopi. Okay, so let's say u equals word into brackets octopi. So quotation comments and then octopi. Octopi. Okay. So you're going to limitize u. So print into brackets. Then I'm going to type, let's say, let's do it u equals, and I'm going to bring a comma. Okay, I'm going to put u dot limitize into brackets. So let's leave it let's leave this one this way, and then let's run it and see. Okay, so the basic or the root form of octopi is from octopus. Okay, so you can try that for several words, and then let's see. So let's see what we can do now here. Let's say we want to break this text into its basic into the various words. Okay, so what I can do is let me just copy this text, or let me copy this whole. Okay, Control C, and I'm going to make m equals into and then v. Okay, so test block, and then I'll put this here, and then we want to just break it into words. Okay, into the various parts. So we have the method using let's say words. Okay, so it's going to print out each word. So to do that, let's just print into brackets. Then I'm going to type um, m dot words. Then let's run it and see. Okay, so you can see it has broken this sentence into the various words. Okay, various words. Okay, so let's say we can also do some for let do same for sentences. So let's say let's just copy this, Control C, and then let's paste it here, and then let's add more text. So let's say Python is great. Stop, and let's add simple is better than complex. Complex. Okay. So let me just change this variable to y. Then I'm put here y. Then I'm going to change here to sentence. So let's just type sentences. Then let's run it and see. So you can see it's broken down to sentences. Okay, so this one sentence, and then it's broken. There's the other sentence. Okay, so this is called tokenization. So let me just um, add here and then move it up. Tokenization. So tokenization breaks um, the sentence or text into its various parts. So tokenization. Okay, so there's something else we can do here is to find the noun phrase. Okay, so let's say you want to find the noun phrase in the text. So let's say I want to find the noun phrase here. So let me just copy this, Control C. The reason why I'm not typing is just to save us time. Okay, so and I'm just changing the variables so we just know the differences of what we are doing. So so I, and then I'm going to put let's say noun text. I'm going to put I dot noun phrases. Okay, so I dot noun phrases, I dot noun underscore phrases. Okay, so there's going to print out the noun phrases. Okay, so let's wait for it and let's see the output. Okay, so you can see our list of noun phrases. So quick brown fox jumps over lazy dog or cats. Okay, so these are our noun phrases. Okay, so you can use that using the noun phrase method. Okay, so here let's say we want to make something plural. So let me create a variable called animal or animals equals, and I'm going to type text blob brackets and quotation comments, and I'm going to type, let's say, cats, um let's say dog, and then let's type goat. Okay, let me include octopus. So I'm going to create I'm going to into brackets print into brackets let's say animals dot words dot pluralize. Okay, so let's see the results. The animal is not defined. Okay, so animal, so put s here. Okay, so you can see our cats here become cats, dogs, goats, and then octopods. Okay, some might get octopi, might think it's octopi, but octopi is used. The I is used when you are using Latin words. Okay, so this is correct. Some would be thinking octopi or no. So the plural form of octopus is octopods. Unless it's you are using Latin, then you would have the octopi. Okay, so we have bigrams, n-grams, and then trigrams. So as the name to bi, tri. So bigrams, let's say you want to break the sentence into two parts. Okay, or you want to break it into three parts. Okay, the ngrams allows you to specify the number of parts that you want. So let's try that out. So I'm going to change here to w equals, and I'm going to copy this whole text, and let me just paste it here. Let me change here to w. Okay, so I'm just going to type print into bracket, and then let's say I'm going to type w dot ngrams into bracket 2. So let's run it. Okay, so you can see it's broken them into, so the quick is 1 gram or 1 ngram, let's say. So that's by gram. So we are working by grams. So it has broken them into 2 parts. So this into 2 lists. Okay, so a couple of lists. So here we have this. So 2 2 2 2 2. So let's just copy this and then we'll change it to 3. Control V. Let's change it to 3. And then let's run it. So you can see the quick brown fox jumps. You can see it's broken them into 3 parts. So you can put any value here. So another way to do this is I'm going to copy this and then I'll paste it here. Control V, and I'm going to just put an n here. So n equals, let's see, let me do it 5 or 6. Let's do 6, and then let's run it. Okay, so there's another way of so the quick brown fox jumps over 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so these are ways which you can work with grams. And okay, so now we'll be working with tags. Okay, so tags, we have POS tags. So POS stands for parts of speech. Okay, so the process of converting text, okay, or classifying words into the various parts of or you label them into their various parts of speech or classes. It's called POS tagging or parts of speech tagging. Okay, so I'm going to, sorry, shouldn't have run this. Let me just comment it out. Okay, so we are going to try something, but first of all, let's go here. Okay, so this Stanford, from this link, okay, you can get the various parts of speech. So there's CC, DT, NN, noun, singular or mass. So these are the various tags here. So let's see, verb, VB is verb, VB is verb, VBD is verb, past tense, and the likes. So let's say, let me copy this, Control C, and I'm going to paste it here, Control V. Okay, and then what I'm going to do now is just to find the tags in this. Okay, so to find the tags in this, let me just clear this out. So there's the w dot tags. Okay, we should get. So these are the various tags. So you can see there is a DT. I think DT is determiner. Quick is a JJ. Name is determiner of JJ. JJ is adjective. Brown is NN. Let's check NN. NN. Noun, singular or mass. Okay, so you can see it's broken them into their various parts of speech. Okay, using their tags. Okay, so let's try a different thing. Let's try another approach. So I'm going to create a variable called tg equals, and I'm going to type in text blob bracket quotation comments. I'm going to type game base game, or let me just go to my Python project and then I'm copy the text. Where is it? Okay, so I'm going to copy this whole text from my Python project. Control C. Then I paste it here. Control V. Clear this. Okay, so game-based CEO Kelvin introduced a new gaming empire project in Ghana. So POS tagger equals to NLTK tagger. So remember we imported this NLTK tagger and then we gave it this variable. So this model, or yeah, this files or model which is this, is stored in the NLTK tagger here. So if you come here, this the same thing that we typed here. Let's say here. Okay, so post underscore tagger equals NLTK underscore tagger. And now what we can do now is to just break it into its various POS or parts of speech. Okay, so what we can do is just print, which what have we done? Uh, print into brackets. So print into brackets, and then I'm going to type tg dot pos underscore tags, and then let's run it. Where's the error? String literal. Okay, so the error here is because of this quotation commas. It's supposed to end here, not here. So I'm going to clear it, and then let's run it. Okay, so you can see Gengbe is an NNP, SSPOS, CEO, NNP Kelvin, NNP introduced BBS, and the likes. Okay, so these are the tags in our text or sentence or statement here. Okay, so let's try another method called parser. Okay, so let's see. I want to let me just print into brackets tg dot parser. Then let's run it. Where's the issue? Where's the issue? Okay, so I have to bring this bracket here. So the error here is because of the R. Okay, so I'm going to take the R out, and then let's run it again and see. Okay, so you can see it's broken. It's giving us a sequence of the tokens. Okay, so the grammatical structure of this text. Yeah, okay, so a sequence of them. So Kelvin and MP. Okay, so it's so only Kelvin has these. Introduces has these. Okay, so that's it for TextBlob, and then thank you for watching. See you in the next tutorial. Thank you.